Hey everybody, it's Dennis again. So today I'm going to talk about steps 6 and 7. So step 6 is step 6 is became entirely ready to have these defects of character removed. And step 7 is humbly ask God to have all of these defects of character removed. Now, if you've been listening to me, there are certain things about the steps, certain steps that I get a little, I'm not thrilled with. Because I believe a step is something that you should take it as an actionable item, something that you can do today, right? I like that. It's just the way I am. It's clear when you can have something that you're going to do. Today, I'm going to sit down with somebody and do my 5th step. That's doing a step. I like that. We all like that because then you can do it, you can get it done, you can go to the next thing, and that's that. But then there are these fuzzy steps, and we talked about this in step 3, and steps 6 and 7 are kind of fuzzy steps because there's not one thing that you have to go and do today, right? For step 6, it's became entirely ready. Well, what does that mean, right? That could just mean take years for me to get ready to get rid of these defects of character. But here's the way I look at it, and it's more doable this way, okay? So steps 4 we went through and we talked about all the stuff that we did, and hopefully there's some recurring themes there. And it's in those recurring themes that we see about ourselves that may be something we want to fix. And so I'm going to give you an example. I'll say for me, dishonesty was something I really didn't like about myself. And a lot of us during our drinking and using days, we perfected our dishonesty as a way of life, right? And so we get sober and still there's some of that. And I hate anything that pulls me back to where I was when I was drinking. And dishonesty does that. So, let's say I put the dishonesty out there as I'm going to get ready, humbly ask him to remove it, and it'll be gone. Okay, yeah, it doesn't really work that way. So even in the long form of the step, it doesn't really say that, right? The way I like to think of it is I have identified dishonesty, right, as one of the things that's caused me trouble in my life. And I am going to really work on that. And I'm going to ask God for his help on making me be a more honest person. That's really step 6 and 7. It's the easiest and best way to look at step 6 and 7. So, the other part of step 6 and 7 is being honest. Because here's the thing, like when we were drinking, right? If somebody said, Dennis, I think you're drinking a little too much. And you'll say, I got to do better with that. I got to cut back, but it's under control. It's not under control. You're just saying that so you can keep drinking. Because the last thing you want to say is, yeah, you're right, I got to stop drinking. We never said that. Well, eventually we did. That's why we're here now. But you know what I'm talking about. It's the last thing we're going to do. And there are defects that are like that with us. So say that there's somebody is, gaining weight and their health isn't really good because they're eating too much and they know they're eating too much and they're eating the wrong things and they think about food an awful lot. And it's really gluttony is something that they really need to work on. But like drinking, you're gonna say, oh, I know, I gotta lose some weight. I gotta do something about that. It is a problem. These are the things we're doing with some of the defects that we have because we really like some of our defects. It's true, it sounds insane, but we like some of our defects. I mean, look at lust. I mean, that's everybody, right, has a little of that in you, and some people, it's a problem for some people. And so, that's not something they're going to acknowledge because they don't want to give that up. Greed or, if you're gambling and stuff like that. These are things that you're going to not necessarily put up front and say they are something we need to work on. But you need to, right? What's causing trouble in your life, right? If I said, I talked about, say, dishonesty. Well, it is causing trouble in my life. It's not, but I'm okay. But say it was causing trouble in my life, and my relationship was in tatters, and my family was getting sick of my lying, and it was causing trouble at work, and all this stuff. That's something I need to talk about, and I need to talk about it with myself and then with God and ask God, please God, help me with that. So these are the things you need to think about with steps 6 and 7. Again, I'm not thrilled with thinking about a step. I want to do the step. So if you can identify your problem, just take one big one now, okay? One big thing. It doesn't have to be all of them right now. I know the step is very grand in its pronouncement. We will have all of these defects removed. Let's be realistic, okay? Just take one or two of these things and ask God, please God, let me be a more honest person today. Help me today so I'm a more honest person. You know what? That's step 6 and 7. Easy, done, right there. You did it by saying, God, this is my problem. Please help me with it. Step 6 and 7 done right there, okay? You can do it, right? You go from it being a thinking, oh, let me become a time ready, let me do, to actually saying to God, this is my problem. I've identified this problem, God, and it is a problem in my life, and please don't let me do it today. Help me today. And that's all I got. Thanks.